Hello and welcome to another episode of the Ascension Café. This week, I have been really kind of pondering over the topic because it's all about discernment, and this feels like a really important topic right now for those of us on the awakening path. I've spoke about this so many times that we are in this huge phase. The word that Spirit keep giving me is tumultuous um, phase on planet Earth. And there is a lot of stuff going on, isn't there? There's a lot of stuff that if we're not careful, it can really lower our vibration because we can get sucked into it all and we can allow it to really impact us on an emotional, mental, and spiritual level. And of course, we often talk about, this remaining grounded in our heart center through these times and keeping, focused on love. And this is absolutely what we need to do. But there is also other things that are very important that as spiritually awakened souls, we need to really start to hone and master. And for me personally, and what my guides are constantly reminding me of is our spiritual discernment. Because discernment is the art that we master so that we can make the highest and best choices in a given moment. The other thing that has been coming through very strongly for me is inner peace. Inner peace not only is our sanctuary during these transformational times on planet Earth, but during our own inner transformation too. And many of us on the path right now are not only um, here as awakened souls, being the light workers, shining our light through these very chaotic and uncertain times, but we are also going through huge changes within us as well internally. And that, of course, is all very purposeful. We're in this really potent cosmic mix of energies, which is actually really exciting. Yes, it's intense. We can feel exhausted, depleted at times, but it is also really exciting as well. There are planetary alignments that literally come around once a lifetime, and we're living in them right now on the 20th of February, was an extremely significant astrological event, where Aries is literally at 0 degrees. And I don't really want to go into great detail about that. I'm not an astrologer and I'm never going to claim to be one. I follow it because I know how much I personally and the people I support on their path are impacted by the planetary alignments, and also to maximize the energies as well for our healing and our spiritual growth. But inner peace is that sanctuary we go to when we are struggling either through those processes of inner transformation, but also when the external world is very unsteady under our feet. It's like shifting sand, isn't it? It literally is like shifting sand right now. Discernment and inner peace go hand in hand because the more that we are in our inner peace, the easier it is for us to discern because we can step back from all of that noise of what is going on externally of us and the noise of the ego mind when we are going through our own personal initiations and challenges on our sacred path. but we also can't really find inner peace if we're not in our discernment. So it is a chicken and an egg situation. You can't really say which comes first. They have to come together. So let's talk a little bit more, though, about discernment, because that's what today's episode really is about. So discernment works in line and alongside our intuition. And I think the best way of looking at this is your intuition is like a signal. It's like a flag being waved to you. It is a gift that is there to protect us, and to help us to move into awareness. So if you think of your intuition like a signal, it's a sign, it's like a woo, be aware of this. Not in any kind of foreboding way, but be aware of this. Our discernment is then, once we have had that signal via our intuition, the discernment is different because intuition is instant. Discernment is a slower, stepping back, reflective process. So discernment is when that signal from the intuition comes, we then step back, we reflect on whatever the intuition, the guidance we have sensed and felt and received in that given moment. We reflect on that through discernment, and then the discernment is then the tool that helps us to make the highest and greatest choices that are absolutely going to keep us aligned to our soul path and purpose. So think of intuition as protection and awareness, and discernment as a tool for making decisions for your highest and greatest good. And the real magic happens when we use both our intuition and our discernment together, when we are able to connect with that inner peace. Because in that space of inner peace, we can then reflect on the intuition and we can draw upon the wisdom of our soul to move deeper into discernment. So do you understand what I'm saying? This is like a big cycle. The three: inner peace, intuition, and discernment all work together in beautiful harmony. And if we miss one out, then I'm not saying that you won't get things right, but it may not be as powerful, or more importantly, it may not be as clear. You may not be able to access that clarity. So I have actually, on the blog, this week's blog, I have put some tips to develop your discernment and help you to really start to trust it. If you think of discernment like a spiritual muscle, the more that you use your discernment and the more you start to really depend on it and trust it, then the stronger and more powerful it will become. I think it's also really important to mention that there are three very clear aspects to our discernment. The first is very much clarity over uncertainty, because when we're really leaning into discernment and we're really trusting what we are sensing, we're feeling, then we don't have to have all the answers. We don't even need to see the bigger picture, but we can truly discern our next step. We can get that clarity on what is our next step. So that first aspect is absolutely clarity over uncertainty. The second aspect of discernment is alignment. And it is absolutely so important. So when we receive intuition on something and we are moving into discernment to really gain clarity on what that intuition is telling us. What is it making us aware of? And is it in alignment with our soul's plan and our purpose here on earth? And when I'm talking about purpose, I'm not just talking about what you feel you are here to do to help and support the ascension path or to help and support other souls. I'm talking about your soul's plan for growth and its own ascension too. So the third aspect is it fruit bearing. Discernment is always fruit bearing. So if you are leaning into discernment and reflecting upon that guidance or that feeling or that sense, that gut feeling, that intuition, if it feels in some way or other off, or if it feels like it's deterring you from your true path or what your heart's and soul's desires are, then you're misreading that intuition. If that, when you start that reflective process and you're in that discernment, it feels like it's fruit bearing because it's leading you somewhere. It is providing you with the next steps to take. And that might only be a tiny, weeny baby step, or it may be a big decision to make. But if it feels good and you can see how it's leading you there, then that's fruit bearing. So just always think about this discernment as these three pillars, the three pillars of discernment, clarity over uncertainty, alignment, and fruit bearing. I want to give you an example of this. So back in October, when I actually was guided to disband the Temple of Light, my membership, which had been running for about a year, I was really at first, when I started to receive this guidance, I was really questioning the guidance. I wasn't leaning into my discernment because my ego was interjecting and going, but you've built this up from nothing. It's been like kind of much more than the year, I was actually facilitating the Temple of Light. It was 6 months in the making before that. 18 months of work and you're just going to give it all up. The ego mind was jumping in there and really deterring me from this intuition and the guidance I had received and the discernment that I was leaning into. And I thought, I need to get into that heart space, into that inner peace. Then I can gain clarity on this. And I started to, sit just quietly, opening up my heart, just feeling the intuition, feeling, did it make me feel good? Was it full of fear? What was it? What was I connecting with? What was it feeling and sensing like? Was it in alignment with my soul path and purpose? Was it fruit bearing? So I was absolutely tapping into those three pillars, the clarity over uncertainty, the alignment and the fruit bearing more and more. And I started to pull myself cards. Anybody who's worked with me before and knows me will know I love my cards. I do love my cards. And it's not the cards themselves. What cards do for me is they open up a flow of information, a channeling of information. So, and every time I got my tarot deck out, I pulled the tower. Every time I pulled the tower. So I just thought, Carrie, come on, get out of your head. Get out of your own way. You're in your own way. Get out of your head. Listen and trust. Because it's spirit are giving you as many signs as possible. Get out of your head. Go into your heart. And when I went into my heart, I knew it was the right thing to do, not just for myself, but for every other soul who was a member. It had run its course. And all my dreams, hopes, and desires no longer were in alignment with my soul's plan or with the members of the Temple of Light Souls, the journey, So once I actually leaned into proper discernment, following those three pillars of discernment, I then got clarity. And then since then, I set up the Ascension Café blog, vlog, and podcast, and now the community. So I can see, even though I don't have the big picture, because I don't know where all this is taking me, but I'm 100% in trust it is leading me somewhere. It is for my highest and greatest good. And it absolutely is for the highest and greatest good for the souls I'm here to support on their sacred path. So trust in your discernment, access your inner peace. When you receive that intuition, sit with it. When you're in that inner peace, feel it. Use those 3 pillars of discernment. And then don't sit on it. Don't doubt yourself. What you feel, remember Lord Melchizedek, I say this all the time, it is the best guidance I have ever been given. Lord Melchizedek said to me, feel it, beloved. Don't think it, feel it. I hope that's helped you today, beloveds. I really have. Bob along to carrienot.com. Go onto the Ascension Café page on my website and read the blog that is in alignment with this particular episode. It's got exactly the same title. You'll find it. There are some amazing tips on there to help you to really develop your discernment and to start to really trust it more and more and more. Also, pop onto carrienot.com. Please come along and join my community. I cannot tell you how excited I am about this. It feels so good. It is alignment, 100%. This community space is on the platform Circle. It is called the Ascension Café Community. And right now, for those founding members joining me right now, this is completely free. I am so committed to this that I am trusting that I am 100% supported with this. And I am in flow. And I am trusting the guidance. And I know there is a purpose that we are all being called to gather together in this community. As part of the community, I will be delivering a once-a-month workshop. And then I'll be jumping on at least once or twice a week to do some live transmissions. And in those live transmissions, I will just be guided whatever spirit want me to share with you in that moment. It may be guidance, I may be pulling cards, it may be a meditation, it may be some breath work, I might be sharing some reflective journal prompts to access whatever I am guided to, maybe chanting, maybe affirmations, I don't know, whatever I'm guided to, I will share with you in that moment, but only I will not be sharing my work anymore across social media until I'm guided otherwise. Everything will be within this community, which is free for you to join. The only thing I ask is that you share it with your friends, your awakened friends or your curious friends who don't even know they're on the path yet. Or even if you've got friends who are amazing light workers and have been out there doing their thing for a long time, invite them along. It is for everyone because there is great strength in togetherness. We can support one another through this huge transformational time on planet Earth. And we can be the light and we can do some amazing planetary service work together in our workshops. So I hope all of this has spoken to you, beloveds. Take what resonates, as everybody says, and leave the rest behind. Feel it in your heart. Don't think it. Feel it. And I will see you very soon, beloveds. Until next time, may you walk forward through this week with love, compassion, and clarity. It's love and blessings from me, Carrie Knott, in the Ascension Café.